Welcome to another episode of Sound Advice. I'm Ryan Harter, technical agronomist with Sound Agriculture, and we're outside of Madison, Wisconsin here in the nice cornfield here. We're starting to go through the blister stage, or R2, and so the crop is progressing nicely, which also adds to a lot of risk, especially if we start to go through the dog days here of summer in late July and early August. Today we're going to be talking about evapotranspiration, which I know is not a term that a lot of you are probably familiar with. And so what we're talking about here is how the moisture from the soil actually transpires or gets sucked up from the plant through the roots and evaporates in the atmosphere. So it's the two processes of transpiration and evaporation that gives us evapotranspiration. And so the reason why this is important is we usually start to get pretty limited on water and what we can uptake at this point in the growing season. And we all know that water is extremely important as we go through the reproductive stages. So as the heat increases late in the season, we start to feel the need for a lot more evapotranspiration. So we're going to start really using that supply of water that we have or don't have in some instances. And so even as temperatures start to soar, we're going to get to where evapotranspiration rates are even close to that half an inch per day. So that starts to be a lot of water requirement for the plant. When we talk about evapotranspiration, that's how the plant actually regulates temperature so it can stay cool and do what it needs to through the reproductive stages. And so if we're not being smart with our water, then we're not going to be able to last very long. And so anytime that we have large needs for nutrients, so we have nutrients in short supply, our transpiration rates are going to be a lot higher. That's how most of our nutrients are taken up through the plant, especially this late in the season, is when we go through transpiration. So if we're already limited on nutrients, whether that be nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, or even our micronutrients, then our rates of evapotranspiration will be much higher because there's a much larger need for it. Versus if we have soils that are already rich in these nutrients, or we're using products that help to get nutrients more available for the crop, then our evapotranspiration rates are going to be much lower. So to lower our need for evapotranspiration, there's a few things that we can do, and they all focus around making sure we have the right nutrients available to the plant at the right time. So if we're deficient in nutrients, we need to make sure that we're either applying more of those nutrients so the plant doesn't have to work quite as hard to be able to transpire those nutrients into the plant, taking the water with it and dwindling your water supply very quickly, or we need to make sure that we've been building that reservoir up throughout previous growing seasons to make sure that we're not going to run low on lots of our macronutrients and micronutrients as well. And one solution that I like to jump to is what Sound Agriculture offers with Source. And so what we're able to do there is to make the microbiome much more efficient. So we're solubilizing phosphorus, mineralizing nitrogen and other micronutrients, so that way they're available to the plant when the plant needs them the most. So it's important that as we get in the dog days here of summer, where we have a lot of heat and high humidity, when evapotranspiration rates are soaring, that we're taking care of the plant and keeping it going so that way we're not burning up our water supply. One other great solution that Sound Agriculture offers is our new offering with Blueprint. And so what that is that's an AMF planter box treatment that's going to allow us to be able to increase the population of AMF, or arbuscular mycorrhizae fungi, inside that microbiome. And so what we're doing is we're really extending the surface area of those roots so we can tap into water a lot easier and really funnel all the moisture towards those corn roots where we need it, while also increasing the population of the microbiome and making it much more efficient, so that way we have nutrients where we need them, when we need them. So hopefully, as we learned here today, evapotranspiration is extremely important. And even though not all of us have irrigators, can make it rain when we want to, we still need to make sure that there's management levers that we can all pull to make sure that we're getting the most out of our water utilization and that we're not exceeding evapotranspiration requirements for our field. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Sound Advice. If you have any questions on evapotranspiration or any other management practices, feel free to reach out, and have a great day.